Welcome everybody to the obligatory Deltarune post new chapter discussion.
Wait, no, it's no. Listen, you gotta do it right. It's like Deltarune chapter 5 discussion.
This is now a Deltarune channel. This is the second Deltarune video in the past 2 weeks or something. Oops. Although somebody commented, it's not a real Deltarune channel if you don't you're a moving PNG representing yourself.
True.
So apparently I'm not fully part of the crew yet, which is probably for the best.
Listen, you can throw my face in there with little drawings of you that you have. So
I'll just have crazy Lenny reactions. So yeah, for people who are unfamiliar with us doing this is basically us rambling about the new chapter. Basically, we've done this every time and only lost the recording once, which was when it was most important because chapter 3 and 4 were fucking hype.
Yeah, that's I'm so butthurt about it.
I do have parts of the recording, but it would be sad to upload other disjointed things.
Yeah, if enough people want it, I suppose we could, but it's here's
I could check what's salvageable in there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's at least parts that's we finished discussing this parts, because it's kind of stupid when it's okay, here we're discussing here we're discussing the identity of the Roaring Knight, but then halfway through the discussion it cuts off, so we don't actually get to any conclusions. That's kind of that would kind of suck.
But I think in this discussion we'll probably follow up on some things.
Yeah,
from the discussion that doesn't exist, because there are a couple more things that in chapter 5 that obviously follow up from 3 and 4.
Yeah,
so they'll get mentioned anyway. Also, huge big spoilers for everything.
Yeah,
we're not gonna pussyfoot around topics. It's just big spoilers. If you haven't finished chapter 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1, you might want to do that before watching this. I don't know why you would watch a discussion, but to be fair, I enjoy watching Red Letter Media talk about movies I will never watch myself.
True, but in the case of Deltarune, it's because again, also someone reiterate, it's also oh yes, we do this sometimes. Why? Because we fucking love Deltarune.
Deltarune.
And if for some strange reason you're here and you're wait, what is this game? What? We recommend you play Deltarune, and I mean by extension Undertale, obviously, because those are really fantastic games. And
it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody, but if it's your thing, it's gonna be your thing in a very intense way.
Yes. So yeah, usually this is pretty unstructured. Also, if I sound weird, it's allergies. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's basically, like I said, us rambling about the chapter.
Yeah, usually we kind of talk about it going through the chapter, but then we always go off of tangents.
Yes.
But yeah, because we can just immediately get into the weeds of things, or we can start more generally.
I think that's fair. Your overall feelings on the chapter.
Yeah, because we already talked about it a little bit, but nothing too big, because when we did, I hadn't finished the chapter yet, but you had.
Yeah.
So obviously we didn't go into specifics and stuff, but
yeah, we talked about it a couple of days ago, right before recording a Paper Mario thing.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically just what I felt about certain things, and that I have one fun, cute new theory that will probably not be a thing. But yeah.
Well, in that time,
overall feelings.
In that time, has your opinion, because you've had a few more days to let it stew a little bit, has your opinion changed at all, or is it still?
I think my opinion on chapter 5 became a little better, but I still hold true to what I originally said. If you remember, that in terms of how much, I don't want to say enjoyed, in terms of how much I just really got into the game and enjoyed the full thing, my rating is still chapter 4, 3, then 5, then 2, and then 1.
So right in the middle for you.
Yes. And the only reason, or one of the biggest reasons that is the case, is because chapter 5, besides the weird route, doesn't really have any crazy, insane new revelations.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that are confirmed that we already sort of knew, but they are nice to have confirmed. But a lot of things are just it's, for lack of a better word, it's a lot like chapter 1 in a way. which is intentional, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it, because there has been a lot of discussion about this chapter where some people were very disappointed in it, for example. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of the criticisms really boil down to the fact that there wasn't much crazy plot stuff happening. There were no really big bombshell drops like, oh my god, the Roaring Knight, oh my god, fucking a Titan, what?
I mean, to be fair, we were spoiled with 3 and 4.
But yeah, that's the thing. 3 and 4 were so intense. I always thought, like, you know, is all this stuff already happened? What's gonna happen next? And
by the way, I don't mean that we got spoiled as in we got spoilers, as in we got spoiled by how many things we got.
Yeah, how many crazy stuff
that were
happened.
just like, whoa, what the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah, like one of the big things that I kept repeating in our discussion was the fact that my constant feeling playing chapters 3 and 4 is like, we're doing this already?
Yes.
Yeah, and comparatively...
We fought the final boss already twice. We fought the Roaring Knight in chapter 3, which we thought like, what the fuck already? And then you fight a Titan in chapter 4, which is like, wait, that also could have been the final boss.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, of course, that sets expectations of like, oh man, shit's gonna get crazy. Yes. And then to be fair... And the thing is, to be fair, Toby did mention in newsletter where it's like, you know, like, oh, things were pretty intense last time, but hey, let's just have one more fun adventure before the sunset completely. And then everyone assumed like, oh yeah, sure, Toby, that doesn't mean, that means it's definitely not going to be like super intense and like something crazy is going to happen at the end, including me. I also thought that, but then in the end it was like, no, it was actually just straight up like, yeah, let's just have another fun adventure.
At the end I thought like something has to happen, but no.
Yeah, it was pretty low key. But the thing is, my general feelings of the chapter, like, I definitely agree that there weren't as many big, like, lore drops, you know?
I think I'm gonna agree with your but go ahead.
Big, you know, revelations or whatever, which are like, oh my god, ooh, crazy thumbnail, and then like an hour-long theory video about this crazy new lore. There's nothing of that in the chapter, so I understand that people who are really into that, which is a large portion of the Deltarune fan base, they're gonna be a bit disappointed in that. However, my problem is people saying that there is no story in this chapter, when the other side of the coin, like storytelling, I feel like there's two sides of that. There's plot, but then there is character development. And I think this chapter was a gold mine of character development. And some people prefer story or plot, some people prefer characters. And I am someone who prefers characters over plot. So for me, this was my second favorite chapter. And actually got surprisingly close to being my favorite. It's not. I still think chapter 4 is number 1 because it also had all the character development with, you know, Susie and Gerson especially. And then all the insane stuff that happened with the Titan and all that shit and the prophecy. So it had everything in that chapter. So I think it's hard to beat chapter 4. But for me, all the development in chapter 5 I thought was just absolutely fascinating. And that's what I'm really excited to talk about with you.
Elaborate a little bit.
Well,
because I thought you were going to go on about something else, but elaborate about this first then.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. Because last time I talked with you about that, I hadn't beaten the chapter yet. And that's the thing. My opinion has changed since then. Okay. Because I think there was some... I think the chapter did have a kind of a slow start. At first, I was like, it's fun, but it wasn't like really grabbing me, you know?
Yes.
I think it started with the fact that I did expect a little more from the festival. It ended up being pretty, obviously it was really fun, and it's fun to, you know, fun shenanigans and everything.
Yeah, agreed.
But, you know, with all the build up to the festival, again, you would expect, some crazy plot shit is gonna drop in the middle of the festival. But then, no, you just went to the festival and it was a fun time. Yeah. Like the biggest thing that happened, and obviously it's like one of the big moments of the chapter, is the finally the confession with Noelle and Susie, which is like, again, I already mentioned it to you. I feel like people are gonna get upset at me, but I was never really into it. Now
that is so wild to me.
No, but here's the thing. I have to preface this by saying I think objectively that scene was fucking adorable. Oh my god. Yeah, these fucking cuties, you know?
Yeah, like, keep in mind, they are teenagers, so of course they're gonna be like this.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing. Like, obviously, like, the way the sunset, the music, like, just even like, especially like, I think Toby really put so much attention to like the sprite work of the sprites, especially like Noelle's character portrait when she's like being held by Susie and stuff. Like everything looks beautiful. It's very cute, very sweet and stuff. So obviously it was great. But what I mean when I say I wasn't super into it, it's not that I didn't like it or that I'm against the lesbians. Like, of course not. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But I just think that if you look at the relationships between all the different characters in Deltarune.
Okay, I think I know what you're going to
Toby's very good at writing stuff. I just think if you have to make a comparison, and I don't mean this in a shipping way at all.
No, I think
But I think, for example, just as an example, the relationship between Kris and Susie is way deeper, has a lot more meat to it. There's so many scenes that they have together that really go deep. Like the scene where Susie talks about the piano. Or the scene in the diner where you have a meal with her. Those are really sweet scenes that show how meaningful their relationship is. And I feel like compared to that, Susie and Noelle feels more like Toby taking his 2 dolls and being like, oh yeah, oh they're so cute, I love you too, and making them kiss.
Compared to Kris and Susie, sure.
There's a lot,
but then again, the entire just bunch of scenes in Noelle's house where they hung out and were talking, that was a lot of dialogue.
True.
But I will agree that it was not nearly as didn't nearly have as much meat as Kris and Susie.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like the relationship between Kris and Susie is two just really solid friends that are just goof off with each other, do the most random shit. It's like, but then also can get really deep about stuff that's on their minds. While Susie and Noelle is that typical teenage romance.
Yeah. And again, that's also why I wanted to preface that, like, I'm not like some shipper that's upset that my cruisy ship isn't happening or whatever. I just think purely from writing standpoint, I'm more interested personally in their relationship than in the romantic relationship between Susie and Noelle. Now, the thing is, I said all of this before I finished the chapter, and I think now finishing the chapter, I like it more because I feel like the qualms that I have with it, the game is taking that into account in the sense that there's so many scenes in chapter 5, especially like, near the end that I hadn't seen yet. So scenes where, how do I say this? It's like just scenes where, well, basically it's a thing that has been going on for the entirety where Kris and Susie, they get along nicely, very good. And it's like in the scenes between Kris and Susie, those are the moments where Kris, the character, has the most agency and shows who he is the most.
Exactly. Because we didn't get to discuss this during... I mean, we got to discuss it, but it never got uploaded. Yeah. Where if you do some of the weird stuff in Chapter 3, where you can at one point stab Susie, Kris immediately grabs her and like pulls her out of danger. So like Kris cares for Susie.
And that's the thing. The thing is always Kris, and this is something where I actually do think this, Kris is totally crushing on Susie. And there are scenes in Chapter 5 that make it extremely obvious, scenes that, because I checked out your stream, of course, scenes that you haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
It's like, the thing is, like, the scene I'm talking about is, there's a scene where, it's, again, you have to choose to go see what Susie is doing, which is, again, a thing that we'll get into later, while Ralsei is, like, suddenly doesn't want to do that anymore, stuff like that. We'll talk about that later. But basically, there's a scene where you can have Susie and Kris, and the thing is, they sit down together at the hot springs. They sit down together, and then they straight up have a talk about, hey, Susie and Noelle, and it's great. And Susie literally asks Kris, like, hey, Kris, have you ever been in love with someone?
Oh.
And Kris just looks away, and then you can say yes. And again, he just looks away awkwardly, and then Susie's like, oh wow, well, geez, I can't imagine what your type would be. And then Kris just turns to look and stares at her. And then and again, she's like, hey, don't stare at me like that. And of course, because she's super super aloof and stuff, she doesn't notice at all. But
Susie doesn't notice anything.
Yeah,
ever.
Exactly. So that's the thing. It's very obvious that Kris is really into Susie.
Yeah.
And there are so many scenes that show that the relationship that Susie and Noelle are developing, that Kris is not a fan of it. Like, there's a scene, like the scene that you had happen that I didn't, was when Susie and Noelle go into the Ferris wheel, and it's like, oh, Kris, yeah, think about them in the thing, because because we want to see that scene. And then Kris just like, no, I don't want to think about this. And then it shows even more right at the end of the chapter when you take Susie home.
Yes.
Which also is like, oh yeah, let's go to your home. And then you start going in the direction of where you think she lives, and it's like, no, not this. What? Then you go to the school. What?
Yeah, I got it.
And then you take her home, and again, it's like, and she's talking about how important these adventures are for the two of them, how close they are, and how much this means for them. And then Susie just goes like, oh, but I think Noelle should be part of it too.
Yeah.
In a move that is understandable because she's head over heels, but is not the smartest move. And then she just goes into the dark world in Castletown because she lives there now, because she's just completely fallen down the rabbit hole of, I feel like, fuck real life. I'm just gonna be here. And then and then the credits, and then you see her in the Castletown, and everything is great, everything is happy and wonderful, and she goes to bed and she's so happy, and then just a hard cut to Kris alone in the darkness, slowly turning around and just walking home alone. And that's when I was like, okay, my, like, I wouldn't say iffy feelings about Susie and Noelle, because obviously they're really cute together, but throughout the game I felt like, damn, Susie's like going really hard on this in a way that I feel like is maybe a bit too intense. And by the end of the game I was like, wait, the game is agreeing with me, or at least like the game is pointing like damn, Susie's like,
they're teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I was like, oh, this is actually like crazy fascinating. I'm so invested now to see how this like friction is going to develop further, because I'm like, wow, that is so fascinating to like, as like just from a writing standpoint and storytelling standpoint, like, ooh, like where's this gonna go? So then I'm like, damn, I'm all in. So that's one reason why I thought, from a character development standpoint, chapter 5 is one of my favorites.
It's like, will Kris make amends with this?
Yeah, is there going to be a point where Kris...
that the friendship they have with Susie is very important and it's fine? Or will it actually cause a rift?
More of a rift?
A slow rift between the two.
Exactly.
Which, yes, could be very interesting.
Yeah, and it could also, have more repercussions with the fact that what is going to happen when Susie finds out that Kris has been opening dark worlds, for example, and fountains. Like, again, there's so many things now where this could blow up exponentially.
You know how Susie's like, I hate liars? And guess who's been lying?
Yeah, especially because in this chapter she was really like, oh yeah, we can go back in through the back door. Wait, Kris, you were back there, weren't you?
Right? Yeah.
Did you happen to see anyone? And Kris looks away like, So it's like, like this is the shit that I'm like, okay, this is getting really interesting. And if next chapter Noelle is gonna become part of this whole group, and maybe she's gonna go back to Dark World and stuff, I really feel like, it's gonna be very interesting to see what's gonna happen with all of that stuff.
that leads into the like, why is Kris still doing all of this?
Because it's,
what is their end game? Who is Phone Voice?
Is it like, because again, it's like, what is it? Is it the knight? Is it Carol? Because again, I was also expecting to see more Carol in this chapter, but nothing. Yeah.
I also thought with character development, since you say it's like a treasure trove of character development, I thought you were also going to go into Ralsei.
Yes, that is the second part. The reason why I fucking love this chapter from a character standpoint is Ralsei and Flowery.
Yeah.
I like basically, I love Deltarune, I love all the characters, and I always thought, like, obviously I'm very invested in Kris, Susie, and Ralsei was also very interesting, of course, but always like, oh yeah, Ralsei's cool. You know, he's cool. But I feel like it was starting like with chapter 4 was the first time I was like, oh, Ralsei's a lot going on. That made me very interested. And now in this chapter, Ralsei just shot up so highly in my character tier list.
Yep. I used to not really like him. And then in chapter 3 and 4, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting it. It's like, he's okay. He's a cool dude. But now, Ralsei, like, is an actual character instead of just like, he's friendly and he doesn't want people to be sad.
Fluffy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to it. And this is all thanks to Flowery, who I never starting playing chapter 5 and finding
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Which okay, first off, we gotta
the anime intro was
everyone loves theorizing about Deltarune, what's gonna happen in the next chapter. And it's like, oh yeah, the boss is gonna be Asgore and there's gonna be crazy stuff and the flowers are gonna be, of course the flowers were there, but there's gonna be crazy stuff. But then Toby goes oh yeah, how about anime cutscene suddenly?
It is really obvious that in this chapter, I think he also mentioned this in the email thing, where in this chapter, a lot of outsiders helped with chapter 5.
Yeah.
And it really shows because, this, a lot of the music was done by different people. A lot of
help.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he got a lot of help.
Yeah, and that anime intro is just, I feel like he's sort of
Deltarune is becoming more and more ambitious exponentially with every chapter.
Yes.
And I love it. Also, just fun fact, the anime studio that worked on the opening cutscene, Studio Kara.
Really?
Yeah. It's an actual anime studio, by the way. They make cool stuff. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. But yeah, this chapter, because, okay, I want to get back to,
Ralsei?
I want to continue talking about Ralsei and Flowery and stuff, but yeah, the chapters just get bigger and bigger and more ambitious exponentially, which I think is the best shown off with the fact that the game suddenly turns into a 2D platformer that has shockingly smooth controls and really cool gameplay systems.
By the way, that's the reason, that is for me personally, the main reason Chapter 5 didn't feel disappointing is because somehow, gameplay-wise, every single chapter introduces something just completely new. And in this one, it's so crazy. It turns into a super solid platformer that could be a complete game on its own, an engine. And so it was just in Chapter 5 we do this.
Yeah, and that's why from a gameplay standpoint, Chapter 5 is obviously the best chapter.
Yes.
Because, oh my god, it's again, it actually plays so well. It's so fun to do the 2D platforming. The 2D combat is also shockingly really fun. The boss battles are great. I couldn't believe, and because I remember playing Chapter 3 and being oh whoa, there's a top-down Zelda type thing. And okay, yeah, I can understand that development for Chapter 3 took a while because that's
all the
an entirely different
mini
gameplay
games,
system.
They make sense.
But then during the Tenna battle, where you just in battle smoothly transition minigame, then back into battle, I was holy fuck, that's so crazy from a programming standpoint. That's insane. But the simple act of hitting the button and the entire world shifts into 2D, and it's it takes half a second, and it's so immediate and smooth. When I got to that point, I just stood at the Switch and I just did it a bunch of times in a row because I was I can't believe it works this smoothly, and it's so seamless.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, how did they pull this off? It's insane.
That part of it to me personally was so mind-blowing, just all the gameplay, and especially during I feel there's a little bit of a lull when you do both sides, the left and the right.
It's a very big final dungeon.
It's oh, this takes a long time. But then the ending where you climb the castle and the music goes super hard, then I really got into it. And the gameplay
and again the point where
clicked,
where Susie and Ralsei are you know what? How about we don't wait for Kris to tell us what to do?
Yeah.
And we just let them do their thing, and we got them because we're locked in.
Yeah.
Again, everything, the culmination of all the platforming and stuff. I'm shocked that I do think without that gameplay system, I think the game would have felt a lot more dragged out.
Yes.
But every time a platforming segment happens, it's such a breath of fresh air. I'm oh yeah, always super excited to play it.
Yeah.
But I want to talk more about Ralsei and Flowery because
Ralsei
Ralsei stocks up, fantastic character, but playing through the first part of Chapter 5, if you would have told me that Flowery would become one of my favorite characters in all of Deltarune, I would have been what? No, he's just stupid and has dumb voice lines and stuff. He's funny, but come on. But I am obsessed with Flowery. I think he's so fascinating. I think he's incredible. He's
interesting
he's so
to me,
well written
as a mirror to Ralsei. which again plays more into this is a mirror to chapter 1. And it's like it just, again, typical Toby, it's very clever in a meta way, because that plays into the whole story of like, why is that dark world that Ralsei has more important, and the lives of all the people who live in it more important than, you know, the new dark world. And it plays perfectly with just everything mirrors, or a lot of things mirror chapter 1.
Yeah.
And Flowery is the mirror to Ralsei.
Yeah, and I love how, because it's true, they're very similar in the sense that obviously like Flowery also has like this knowledge about the game world, you know, about the framework of everything. But where Ralsei is like very much tied to that system and be like, because, you know, again,
make sure the player has fun and plays by the rules.
Do this. Flowery is like, no, just do whatever I want. Oh, I'll give myself max stats. Here, have all the money you ever want. Because like, just have fun, you know?
Yeah.
Have a great time. And Ralsei is so, because that's also the thing, just seeing Ralsei get like so frustrated.
Yeah, even like during the final boss of the chapter, where he doesn't turn into a pile of fluff, he like kneels and is frustrated.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh my god, Ralsei, are you okay? What the hell? He was such a hater in this chapter. I was like, Jesus Christ. Sometimes a bit too extremely so.
Yeah.
But like, just him and Flowery were so fascinating, because Flowery is like, and again, another thing why I love Flowery is that obviously with Flowery you're gonna make parallels to Flowey. But,
I mean, Flowery, Ralsei, Asriel,
Flowey, yeah. But I think it's amazing, because what I love is that, like, Flowey and Flowery are two sides of the same coin. They are both, like, they basically both know about the futility of everything. And the thing is, Flowey in Undertale, when coming face to face with that fact, lost all hope and just became incredibly nihilistic. And said, fuck it, and like became a horrible monster, you know, and was super nihilistic and stuff. And Flowery is the complete opposite, where he got the exact same cards dealt to him, like with the knowledge of like, you can't do anything. You're a flower, you're not meant to last long, you're gonna die, you know? It's also a thing. So you can't do anything. That mirrors Ralsei being tied to the prophecy. You can't change anything.
Yeah. I think Asgore's care for the flowers is like a huge part of that.
Yeah, but like with Ralsei being very stuck, instead Flowery says, okay, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna have fun. I'm gonna keep doing my thing and care for my friends, care for Asgore, who I love so much, and I want to like repay him for all the kindness that he's given us.
Yeah.
I want to do all of that stuff, and in doing that, he becomes the Gerson. He becomes a mentor figure to Ralsei in a very strange way, where he like constantly pokes and prods at Ralsei just to try to get him to realize that you don't have to do this. Like you keep saying like, oh, you know, no, I have to follow this path. I need to follow the prophecy. And Flowery's like, no, but Ralsei, what do you want? You don't have to believe in a prophecy. You have to just believe in yourself, and then you can choose what you want to do. And I think that's so fascinating, and that all tied with the fact, like you said, like the struggle with us to be like, listen, we want to save this dark fountain because we're going to die if not. We can't go to your dark fountain because flowers are very fragile. We're going to die. So we want to save this dark fountain. If you're upset about dark fountains, why don't you get rid of your dark fountain? Obviously, we don't want to do that. So then there's just this clash of ideals, and there's no bad guys here. It's just a struggle of, I think this, I think something else, and we're just going to clash and see what happens. And obviously it gets...
Whose hope is stronger, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously it's super fucking anime coded. And of course I'm a huge weeb.
But final blow.
and like he literally has all of his friends with him. Like in the battle, everyone comes out to help him. And then at the end, like the final clash, all the friends behind him, like you're like the battle, also just the battle against Flowery is my favorite battle, at least my favorite like final like chapter boss battle.
Oh, it was a super solid battle.
Like gameplay wise, it's really fun with the fact that you have a new soul mode that like finally we have the orange soul. We know what that would have been like, you know? It's super fun to play. The fact that everyone all the other flowers come in to help Flowery. Like you're fighting the anime protagonists with the power of friendship. And that is so fantastic. And that's all really cool. But just it's not just because it's like anime that I love it. It's also just thematically, it's so fascinating. So I love Flowery. And also, obviously, like, I'm just gonna say it. And I know, like, recency bias and stuff. I know I can succumb to recency bias, but Flower Man is the best music track in Deltarune for me.
Nah.
Period.
No. I'm going to disagree with that already, even with the recency bias.
Mm-hmm. No,
it's good.
For me.
But, like, to me, I want to say...
Come on, with the lyrics and everything.
I would need to re-listen, but I don't think any music in this chapter of... It's so hard because a lot of the music in this chapter is very Asian inspired, so it's like it's completely different vibe. But like I think back to like Big Shot.
I mean, listen, Big Shot is top 3 easily. Like I think, like Big Shot was my number 1.
TV Time, like
also very good, obviously.
Hammer of Justice, fucking even as no music as it is in the start. Black Knife. Just just like suddenly swing. It's like to me, a lot of music was good, but it was more like ha ha ha, Flower Man anime funny, and not like intense, which grabs me personally more than like, you know, maybe what you thought of this, and it's like, oh, Flower Man's so good and so it's goofy and great, and I feel this anime. And that just grabs me less so, personally.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why I always want to really get into this, because, like, obviously it's a very anime and stuff, but it's not because it's anime that I love it, because what you liked about, like, for example, what you mentioned with Black Knife is that's like, oh, it's, like, intense and stuff. That's how
it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's what okay, not the what is happening, but that intensity, I feel it with Flower Man, and not just because it's anime, but again, because I think thematically it's so great. The fact that the lyrics reflects Flowery,
I mean, yeah, I'll
and
agree
his
with
position,
that.
But at the same time, the lyrics also reflect Asgore and his struggles.
And in the same time, it also is goofy. It really balances well.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It starts goofy. I was like, wait, there's lyrics. Like when the battle started, I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And then the lyrics showed up in the karaoke style. I was like, at first I just laughed. I was like, what is happening? But then I instantly locked in, and I was just like, and just the thing that Toby does really well, something that's silly, but then it takes a little bit, and then like, no, I take this dead seriously. Like I read into what are the lyrics saying, like what is it, like with the characters, Flowery, Asgore, like I don't know. I know it's like anime, but other than that, I just think thematically what it represents and everything about Flowery, about Flower Man, the music track, about the battle. That's why I really like Chapter 5 and why I think like it's not my number 1, but like because it's hard to beat Chapter 4, but it's definitely second place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think for me personally, when I say this chapter answers more questions than, or like not answers more questions, but like
gives confirmation of theories,
gives confirmation
and
to
like,
a lot of themes and stuff.
Yeah, like with Asgore.
About Asgore, but nothing. Like we didn't get a crazy new revelation about Asgore, unless I'm missing something. It's more like
about Asgore,
we knew
nothing, no.
He like was looking into the Dark Worlds. And so I guess we got confirmation that he knows
about the Dark Worlds and that
what Dark Worlds are, but nobody believes him.
Yeah, and the fact that a dark fountain was opened many years ago.
Yeah,
like that's the big.
Which kind of does play into my theory, but it's not. There was an original shit squad or friends gang or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
although that could still be a thing. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's still, like, you know, it still could be a thing. We know, especially now with more confirmation talking to the people that, you know, we know that Kris was in a band with Ness and Asriel.
Yep.
Like, that's a group of 3, maybe. Like,
also, like, I thought there would be, or like, Asriel putting on the hat, Ralsei putting on the hat would have been like a relatively cheap way for Asgore not to be like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. My son? But then he sees Ralsei at some point. And he's just like, oh, that guy looks a lot like...
But only with the hat.
Yeah. A little bit like Asriel.
Yeah, it's like, first, like, kind of look like Asriel. But then the longer you look at him, like, starts to look less and less like a monster. Mm-hmm. Which is very interesting. Because that's the thing, like, there were no big lore drops. And I do think in Asgore's case, I did expect to know a little bit more about, like, because the thing is, it basically like, oh, he was looking into the dark fountains in the dark world because of something happened in the past. What was that? I was expecting to at least get something like, oh yeah, it's the disappearance of Ness. But we didn't even get that. So
no, but Asgore also said like something along the lines of that he tried to protect Kris and he couldn't even do that. Mm-hmm. What does he mean by that?
Oh no, that he was just talking about the fact that Kris got super fucked up in the fight against Flowery.
Oh, okay.
Because he says that as he runs up to Kris right after battle, be like, "Oh my god, are you okay?"
No, I think that was during when he's explaining stuff. I should look back into it, but. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then him saying that Toriel didn't leave him because of what he did, but it's more of like his growing obsession and him spiraling into his self-loathing.
And like his obsession with trying to figure out what happened and stuff, that's what pushed everyone away.
Yes.
And then he just fell more and more into the black hole because like, oh, if I can just solve this, then I can fix things.
Yes.
Again, this escapism of like, oh, no, I don't need to face reality. I just need to keep going down this road and like solve this issue, solve the mystery, and then I'll be okay. And then at the end he realized like, no, I need to just wake up and face reality and listen. I really want to be there with you and like with Kris and with Asriel. And listen, if your mom doesn't want to be there, that's okay.
That's okay.
And because again, that's the thing, because Flowery was like, Asgore, no, don't you want to be happy here? Like, we have a perfect world. And then Asgore's like, no, I have my flower shop. I need to go back. And like, yeah. So that's the, Asgore things. But again, like, even though there were no real big lore drops, there were still like little bits and pieces. Like, for example, again, everything that was between Flowery and Ralsei, how they mirror each other. How much do they mirror each other? Because there's a lot of things where like, more near the end, when they're really talking about like how Ralsei says something about implying that like, opening the fountains, oh, that's horrible. Mm-hmm. And then Flowery just goes, hey, isn't there somebody you want to talk to about that? Mm-hmm. And then Ralsei immediately is like, So
Ralsei knows.
Yes, Ralsei knows Kris is opening fountains. And in fact, again, also a conversation that you missed out on, but they actually have a conversation.
Okay.
And Kris, I mean, never very overt, but Ralsei basically says like, hey, listen, Kris, I'm going to put my faith into you. Even if you do things I do not agree with, I will put my trust in you that in the end, everything's going to be okay. Ralsei knows Kris is opening portals, and he doesn't like it, but at the same time, like, yeah, but Kris, listen, I trust you. I don't know, there's a lot of moments where Ralsei talks to Flowery like, oh, you can't do this and this, and being very hypocritical, and Flowery just goes like, oh yeah, well, don't you do the same thing? And then Ralsei is like, oh, fuck. Which, again, I just think that's really fascinating. And there's a lot of things where, like, for example, now people are theorizing, what is Ralsei? That's always been a question.
Yeah.
Is he a dark nerd? Is he the horned headband? And now
there's at this point, like, it might be as simple as that.
Well, no. Now there's a new theory where it's like...
Oh, okay.
Where it's like, there's so many parallels between Ralsei and Flowery actively points those similarities out.
Yeah.
That people are like, could Ralsei be a flower? Or not a flower, but like a plant or something like that. Like, and then people were looking into stuff, and there's this theory where there's a kind of tree with yellow leaves, which is all the trees in Hometown, that aren't actually individual trees, but it's basically all genetically identical clones of the same tree, and they're all connected by one giant root system, which people are like, that's interesting.
Yeah, okay, that is interesting.
That sounds familiar. So like there is new stuff that is worth delving into. It's just nothing really big and in your face.
I mean, it's also like very like a simple thing to point towards is like Ralsei's favorite soda is the flowered soda.
Yeah, of course. Also
like,
that. Like
could be just a joke, as in like, haha, Flowery, Flowey, Asriel, Ralsei, Undertale, Deltarune.
Yeah, like...
Or it could be like, oh, of course it's his favorite, he's a flower. And because he's connected through the roots, he can just pop up in any dark world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, that's another thing. Like, how can he show up in all the dark worlds? Because he is connected to the whole town, basically.
He's connected to everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when
it
I
could
read
also
that, I was
be
like,
something like, how the weird noise from the bunker is also coming from the holidays.
oh yeah, from the
basement. And there is a dark world, right, in the bunker.
Yes.
What if when you stab the ground, it's like stuff from like that dark world seeping into like the flower shop, for example? It's like just part of that dark world. And since there is a small connection between like the bunker dark world and the new dark world, that is how Ralsei can just easily pop up in any dark world.
Yeah, I wonder, because one of the big things that also happens is that Flowery says like that there is a great darkness underneath the town.
Well, yeah, we knew that.
Well, yeah, but him just, again, spelling it out, being like something underneath the town. And it's basically like, yeah, just stabbing the earth just opens a hole
Allows
for that darkness to come
spill.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also very interesting for people, if you want to watch Deltarune theories, watch the toilet theory video.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So yeah, like...
Oh! Yeah, I guess that we haven't mentioned this, but like how the fucking chapter starts, where Kris was out all night doing God knows what, and
we never
clearly pale as fuck.
Yeah, like skin, like almost green or green gray, like just looking like an actual zombie, like a corpse.
Is like shuffling to the soul,
like struggling even more than he usually does.
Puts it back in. You open your menu, and Kris has 1 HP.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. I mean, we knew this, that Kris was struggling without the soul, but like
this.
What?
Never this intense.
What is the link here? We're not Kris's soul.
No,
we are the player.
Yeah, it's something very, very separate.
Kris needs us to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess humans just need a soul to live,
yes.
Right? So this clearly means it's not Kris's soul. But are we just a nebulous god as the player that Kris needs to live? Or are we another character's soul? Like, imagine if Des was a human. Maybe that's not the case. Who cares?
We would be controlling Des' soul, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know about that, but it is true thinking, like, are we our own entity, or are we taking control of Kris's soul?
Yeah. Are we a character in the game, or are we the player?
Mm-hmm.
And the soul has always been a proxy for the player in Undertale, but then you come to the point of how closely related are Deltarune and Undertale? Are they a different side of the same coin, the same story retold in a different way, because stories are retold all the time, which I think is the case. It's a parallel to Undertale,
yeah,
and not connected.
I definitely don't think it's connected, and that's something that if I ever have like a problem with people theorizing about Deltarune, it's the fact that people try so fucking hard to connect Deltarune to Undertale in a sense that I'm like, no, they're two separate games. Like when people are like, oh, what, but maybe Susie is half human because Susie bleeds and monsters don't bleed, because in Undertale they don't bleed. But it's like, Deltarune is not Undertale. It could be completely different rules, we don't know. However, I say that, but at the same time, in this chapter, we also got the confirmation of how Sans got the picture with 3 people that says don't forget on it. It happened in this chapter at the festival. So it's like, wait, so that is a connection. So it's like,
I mean, I did sort of follow that theory where this Sans, like, it to me was possible that the Undertale Sans is the Sans from Deltarune.
True. But at the same time, I feel like it's a bit silly for me to scream about like, these games are not connected, when it's like, yeah, but that is a factual proof of an actual connection. And
yeah,
it's like,
but to me, that's just a wink connection.
Yeah,
like Sans might play an important role later in Deltarune. We don't know, but like the big thing that people use as evidence, like maybe Deltarune monsters do bleed, and Sans at the end of Undertale, when you do the No Mercy routes, the genocide, he does bleed. But you could also be like, oh, just ketchup.
That's just ketchup. It would be fitting as well.
So it's like, it could be this, it could be that. But, like, I think Sans in Undertale being from another world is very plausible.
Yes, I definitely, like, that's a theory that I actually am 100% on board.
Yeah. Also, since we're talking about Sans, do you think Papyrus, I mean, technically he's never been named by name, but let's just say Papyrus.
But, like, does he even exist?
Do you think Papyrus is a running gag? As in, like, haha, you can't meet him.
Or does it actually mean something?
Or do you think it's relevant? Is Sans' brother not Papyrus?
Maybe.
But Gaster.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I saw some people theorizing, like, yeah, what if at some point you enter Sans' house and just Gaster's sitting at a computer? like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be so stupid.
That would be so Toby. Everyone's like, oh, Gaster's super important. Let's go fucking Gaster. And then it's just like, no, Gaster is kind of just a guy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the thing that happens so often. Like, that's also
it's possible.
Yeah, that's also why, like, when people were, like, so gung-ho about, like, oh, this chapter, oh, we're gonna see Friend, and Friend is gonna be, like, the craziest shit, it's gonna be, like, this crazy boss battle. And my thing with Friend is I just feel like, you know how Undertale had, like, a character that technically, like, was in the game, but also wasn't, and there's, like, hints towards that character in the game, but you never actually meet him, doesn't ever actually show up. His name is Gaster, you know that guy? Well, I feel like with Friend, Toby is just doing that again, but this time people are like, oh, and he's gonna show up this time.
What, for me personally, shot the importance, because a lot of people are like, oh, the cats and the devil and, like, the tail and the scratching in the code that the person that's stuck in the code hears, and, like, it's like the Cheshire Cat, and it's like, all this, to me personally, got shot down a little this chapter, because a lot of evidence was like, why is there cats and puppet resistance? Why is there a cat and puppet element? It never shows up. What is the relevance? This must be important. And I was just like, oh, just for the secret boss of chapter 5, that's just a complete joke. Just completely unimportant. It's just kind of a joke. Battle wasn't a joke. It was a super boss.
Oh, it was fucking great.
The character was meant to be a joke.
Yeah.
So this, to me, kind of shot the importance of friend and the cat and the devil and whatever people are saying in the foot. Because, like, what was it again? Like, one of the secret murals, it was something about the devil's tail.
The children follow the pointed tail or something.
How is tail written?
As in a cat's tail.
Okay. It's not T-A-L-E.
No, it's actually like a tail.
Okay.
But yeah, like, there's a lot of things that point towards Friend, for sure. But again, I just feel like Friend is basically this game's Gaster, where there's a lot of hints towards this weird character, and maybe we can, find more about them and theorize what they are, but they're never actually going to be a relevant character, plot-wise.
I think it's more to be there as, like, things in the dark look creepy sometimes, and, like, this chair turns into Friend, and a chair can look creepy in the dark, and it may just be as simple as that. And not as in, this Friend is important, and the chair is important. But then again, it's Toby, so it could be either.
Yeah, but that's like, that's a lot of, like, again, we've talked about a lot of big picture stuff. I feel like we actually haven't talked enough about chapter 5 in, like, a moment-to-moment basis. Like, oh, we're some fun characters, fun scenes. Like, we haven't even talked about all the flowers.
I think they were fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna I'm gonna send this to you. Something that I did because I felt very strongly about this.
I mean, yeah, green is great.
I love green. All my homies love green.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
was probably my biggest laugh in the whole
you
chapter.
Raise your prices by one dark dollar.
No, my favorite moments, what my hardest laugh in this chapter was Green showing up, giving you some cheese, like oh Green, this cheese is delicious. Oh, thanks so much. You're our favorite enemy. And then just walking up, fist bump, give her a hug. Bye, Green. We love you. And then she's just like, oh, hi. Just like waves goodbye. And like She's just so funny. I love Green.
Green is great, yeah.
And just, yeah. I think the flowers were cool. It's not like, oh, they're all like the best characters. They were fun, but like some of them, like for example, Orange, I thought was cute. I loved the gimmick of like basically using Love as a shadow puppet to appear very large.
Yeah.
But then get revealed and oh, she's just like a tiny little mouse, and she's like, I'll fuck you up.
Yep.
Like that's fun, but at some point it got a little bit grating for me.
Yeah.
Like all the whining and stuff. I thought Yellow was very funny. Just like constantly trying to kill himself, and it's also just purely because of Ralsei and Susie's reactions. Just like looking at each other like, whatever. He's something stupid.
To me, it was like at first like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, and then like the joke keeps on building, where like
it becomes more
the
and more
ways
stupid.
Once he kills himself, just get worse and worse.
Yeah, and then you come back and there's like photorealistic blood all over. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then Blue was kind of meh, kind of boring, honestly. But again, very cute. The relationship between Blue and Yellow, I thought.
I think the flowers were just fine.
Yeah. Aqua was great. I love Aqua. She's so adorable. She's very cute. No, I love Aqua. She's so cute. She's always like wanting to play. She's very happy and innocent child, but then also like loves knives. She has 1 or 3 eyes. I think I don't know, I thought she was wonderful. And I think Seth was also pretty alright, but I think they were more like a nice complement to Aqua and the other flowers.
Yeah, like to me it was weird that for the longest time you only see Seth and Aqua. And it was like at some point it was like, are we ever gonna meet these other flowers?
Yeah, I do think that was like a pretty long time with just the 2 of them.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better if they're like, well, I mean, we see Yellow and Green earlier, but at that point we don't really realize what they are.
Like, I do think that this chapter did feel a little long-winded at points. I'm not gonna be like, understand. Oh, why is my game? Why is there so much gameplay in my video game?
Yeah, no, of course. Like, it is definitely like that's the thing. It's definitely long. The Flower Castle is definitely the longest, like, final dungeon, a final area.
I think
it was good just because even though it was longer, I think the gameplay kept being very engaging. Like adding more fun little wrinkles with the platforming, like, oh, now Orange has like these fists and you can lock them away to like, destroy things.
Yeah.
I think there were
like, I'm not saying I hated it, but I wouldn't have minded
if it was a little shorter.
Like one of the battles with Aqua and Seth wasn't there.
There were some repeats. That's true. I don't know, for me, like...
hold up, I'm getting spammed.
What?
1 second.
Spamton, what are you doing here?
No. Oh, actually, that is one thing. By the way, I did finish the super boss, the Mew Mew super boss. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. Super fun.
I like the nod to, like the creepy dating thing with, like, sort of Doki Doki, like, literature club. It's like suddenly becomes like this creepy kill yourself dating part.
Yeah.
Everything in the battle was fine except the bomb move. I couldn't wrap my head around dodging that one.
Just gotta play more Bomberman.
I guess.
I mean, obviously that move fucked me up as well, but I don't know, like, again, I beat it on my second try. I was shocked that I did it that quickly. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but it did. I did use up all my items, but...
Yeah, I went in with my normal inventory, and after like two or three tries, I was like, I'm just gonna buy some more sodas, just make this easier because
yeah, really fun fight. Again, like keep adding fun little wrinkles to the battle system where, like, okay, it's like, oh yeah, now you have the purple soul. That's really fun, but then it's like, okay, you can move the purple soul like like in Undertale, but then suddenly it's like, oh wait, now you can move like into like
inwards.
Like
that was one of the best attacks.
Z-axis unlocked, which is so cool. And then you're in the box, but then a giant Mew Mew shows up and like knocks the box over, so it always turns 90 degrees and stuff like they add. And then there's the TP system where you're limiting TP, but you need to get hearts so you can get more. You increase your maximum TP so that you can give her more dokis And if her Doki meter fills up, then you have like a dating segment. Like, again, so many cool,
So many
weird little
layers.
things added to the battle system. That's like,
I love the little detail where if a character is downed, your basic flirting gets like more Dokis. So like it gives you a little bit of a like, oh hey, hold on, a little bit of a risk versus reward things. Like, do I heal my character or do I just go for the like more like cheaper flirting for more Doki? So like there's a balance there. Like it was that in that way. I think it was the most interesting. No, it definitely was the most interesting super boss from like a gameplay perspective.
yeah, again, another
which
thing,
kind of summarizes the chapter in a way.
Yeah, the gameplay just keeps improving and keeps becoming more ambitious. Where like I didn't even think this kind of stuff was possible in this game engine, but I guess they know how to pull it off.
I remember back in the day, when we were youngins, when Chapter 1 came out, and you were like, it amazes me how many interesting things Toby keeps finding.
Yeah, like
to
he
do
can
with
take
the Undertale battle
like
system.
he can take the
Like,
box and he can like move it up and down a little bit.
and
Groundbreaking.
Now it's just like all this shit with these attacks. It's crazy. Like at some point, even with the against the Roaring Knights, where just the box expands and you have the entire screen. I guess Javel did that too, where like the entire screen becomes your box and you can move around.
Yeah, but
with
the Knights of like how the he just shatters the box in like 4 pieces and stuff. Like
Yes.
yeah.
What I want is like mentioning the super bosses is like something I don't want to say I'm bummed about, but something I'm like sort of like scratching my beard a little bit, being like, here I was thinking that the super bosses were extremely relevant to the overarching plot. Why did they get the phone calls or the shards or the blah blah blah?
Yeah,
And now this super boss,
and then Mew Mew is like,
Mew Mew.
I even forget like what was her explanation of like giving you the shadow crystal. It was just like, oh, I have this random thing. Here you go.
Yeah, I have this. Like my body wanted to give this to you.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I definitely agree with. That it is weird that for as much as I love the Mew Mew boss fight, which also just want to mention, I can't believe they actually got fucking Hatsune Miku on this.
The real Hatsune Miku.
The real Hatsune Miku. Like I'm surprised your reaction wasn't as big when suddenly the singing started happening because again I was playing with my girlfriend and we just popped the fuck off once we heard Miku. We was like, what?
I mean,
but to be fair, like, we're more into that kind of stuff than you, so but still it was like, Toby, oh my god, you keep going so hard on this music. But all that good stuff, I do agree that it is a little weird and a little bit sad maybe that it's like the kind of like the special like, oh, what is up with the secret bosses luster is kind of gone a little bit.
Which is very strange because you had Jeffel and it's like he got forbidden knowledge ?
Yeah, and then went crazy.
And his freedom outside and is free like outside of the bounds of the game, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And
then you have Spamton, who's like just Spamton still to me is just one of the most fascinating characters.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like he's the perfect balance between funny and freaky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think Spamton is. I honestly feel like Spamton is gonna be Deltarune's greatest legacy. Just as a character, Spamton is so hilarious, instantly lovable, but also has that perfect like creepiness to it that makes people obsessed with like theorizing and the lore and all that stuff. Like he is the perfect encapsulation of like Deltarune, I feel like.
Like it still feels so relevant, where I guess the forbidden information these characters got is that they're in a video game.
His phone call.
Yeah. The phone call, and then Spamton's like, I'm gonna need your heart-shaped object to be free. So like it's all about freedom, the freedom motif. And okay, the third one is like you have like the layer deeper against like the you battle the cloak itself in the video game, the shadow cloak, and the cloak is taunting Kris
about like
as in like
cryptic stuff.
Like, you like killing.
Mm-hmm. You have fun doing this.
And then you battle the knight and you get a shard from their sword, and that is the shard. And then Gerson is like, I found this shard. Somebody wanted me to use it. I didn't really care. And that is relevant in its own way.
Because Gerson's just that awesome.
He's just that chill. And all of this was like every super boss felt extremely relevant. Like, what is this leading to?
And then Mew Mew.
But why? Does Mew Mew feel so out of place?
Yeah. Also, same with, it's also something that I read some people being like, what? Like, confused and not upset me, but like confused. When it's like, yeah, like you mentioned, like, you know, all these super bosses, and they all share this freedom motif.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, this freedom motif, like, it means something. What is this? And then you fight the trash trio, and you're like, oh, wow, it's like checker battle. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, just fun, groovy little thing. And then suddenly, moo, 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 moo. And it's like, what is this doing here?
I mean, stuff like that, I can kind of hand wave away as like...
That's just totally being funny.
Just a fun remix.
Yeah, especially when at the end, suddenly the mics come in being like, hey, you're misusing the batat motif. That was just funny.
Yeah, that to me, everything in Castletown lives separately from the rest of the game, in a way.
Yeah, I feel like Castletown is just totally like, hey, let's have some fun.
Yeah, but speaking of Castletown, well... Yeah, first I'll talk about one thing and then the other thing. Sham is pretty much says what the shards are, crystals.
They have the power of lost dreams.
Lost dreams. Okay, he's gonna make something that we'll like, which I think is gonna be the pure crystal.
It would seem that would be it. Yeah, that's what everyone's been thinking.
You can combine.
Yeah, what was
the pure again? Crystal with the thorn ring, I think, right?
Oh, wait, yeah, I think...
Into the twisted sword. Which implies you need to abort a
You need to abort the weird route in order to be able to do that. That's true. And that's especially relevant because when you... Because we do need to talk about what happens to weird route in this chapter, which is.
But I'll get into it later. First, this.
Yeah, but yeah, because like when you abort the weird route here, like when you abort the weird route in chapter 4, you get a little jingle that says like, "Hey, you are now off the weird route." That doesn't happen in chapter 5 when you abort.
And it's not been updated. It's not been a mistake. It's the way it is.
So it's very much intended to be like. It seems like now there's the normal route and then 2 different weird routes, potentially. Like the normal weird route and the aborted weird route.
I don't think that.
Well, then what do you think the point of the Twisted Sword is going to be? Or like the Shadow Crystals at all?
Personally, I'll get it. This actually plays into my theory, but I don't want to get started about that. But I think the aborted weird route is the ending. There's one ending, and that's the aborted weird route, where you get the Twisted Sword. Actually, no. Actually, I don't know. I would think it's a little weird for Toby to hide or to, I guess hide the ending behind having to beat the super bosses.
Yeah, I true.
Maybe it's a little bonus.
I think
maybe it's
there's that, but also it would be weird if the point of the shadow crystals will only ever be a thing if you do an aborted weird route, which is so specific.
Well, you also can get the crystals back from the hole if you beat super bosses ever.
I guess that's true.
I'll get into my thing, but I do, like, I have a little notepad, and one thing that's on there is just one ending. I think that is still true.
I agree.
The game has one ending. Anyway, Castletown. So why can that fountain keep existing, you think?
Well,
to make Susie happy?
Well, there's still something. Again, that's another one thing that Ralsei is still being secretive about. What's up with this dark fountain? Because it's a dark fountain, but it's different from all other dark fountains because people from other dark worlds can live in this dark fountain, near this dark fountain. Why is that? What is so special about this one?
It's so weird because that is one rule that is still like so confusing.
Never been explained or brought up ever again. Like,
because sometimes people turn to stone, but not all the time. And like I remember in chapter 3, there's this one guy who's like, I think it's a Zapper guy who's like, hey, my friend turned into stone. Why did this happen? Why did he turn into stone, but I didn't? Yeah, why is that? What's the whole turning to stone thing about?
Yeah, it's not like Rule's card.
What is the rule?
Not like Rule's card turned into stone in chapter 3.
Did he?
No, he didn't.
Oh. Yeah. What is the rule?
Well,
I think that is something that must be very relevant, right?
It definitely
the rule
will be.
there?
I think that has something to do with the rules that Ralsei has to adhere to. Something about the overall framework, if it's a prophecy or something, it's going to be something with that.
See, I'm also thinking that the ending to this chapter made me think that the shattered mural at the end of chapter 4 may be a lot less devastating than people think it is. Like, people are saying Susie might have to kill Kris. Kris might have to kill Susie. They might have to kill Noelle. Fucking whatever. Just something crazy. Kris will lose a hand. What if it's as simple as the final fountain has to be closed? And Susie's like, but no. I love that place. That is my home.
I think that could be it. Something like that. Basically,
it could be as like not devastating as that. Just like the game has to end. The final fountain needs to close.
That's the thing. That's the thing. The final prophecy will be the game has to end. And Susie doesn't want things to end. She wants things to go on forever, as she said to Gerson. And that is why I think like one of the big thoughts that I have had about where all this game could go, it just always brings me back to what Toby said about Deltarune and about the question of like, wait, there's only one ending? And Toby says there is something more important than reaching the end. That is, to me, the core statement of Deltarune. That's what I keep thinking about when I think about how is Deltarune's going to end. I feel like there is going to be an ending, but that ending is, how do I say it? I think there is I think there is only a bad ending. And if we want a good ending, we have to make it ourselves and just stop playing at some point. At some point, we're just going to have to make the decision to stop playing, to save everyone in Deltarune. And it's something that the game's not going to force you. No, you're probably going to continue playing. You can keep playing if you want to get to the ending, but it's going to be a bad one. If you want a good ending, you're going to have to make a conscious decision to be kind and to save everyone and to just stop playing the game.
Yep.
That's my big brain, big think. And that's why I definitely think like Susie probably saw something about about everything has to end. And Susie's like, no, that's also right now. She's just staying in the dark world because she just wants to be in the dark world because fuck reality. Yeah.
So another question I have for you, and I guess it's more for chapter 4. Who is text on screen? As in, the halfway mark has been attained. Because like, oh, it's Gaster, obviously, like, right? Haha. But like, who though?
I mean, that shit. I do. This is the one thing I do legitimately think it's Gaster. The things line up too perfectly for it to. I mean, it could still be anything else, but I think if it's not literally WD Gaster from Undertale, you know him. It's gonna be something or someone that is the equivalent to Gaster or tangentially related to Gaster in some way. But I do think the links to Gaster are too numerous to deny. There is something with Gaster. And I think that text that shows up, that would have to be Gaster. I mean, the device theory, I do agree with that device theory. I fully buy into that.
It could be like him falling into his own creation, and that creation is Deltarune. Yeah, that to me, because that voice rarely shows up. It has shown up, like, I want to say, I think, wait, does it shows up in chapter 1 when you game over, right?
It shows up. Okay, it shows up at the start during the Gonner Maker sequence, of course. Then it shows up in chapter 1 when you game over.
Yeah. Then when you game over against the dark.
Then chapter 2, nothing.
The Roaring Knight.
Like chapter 2, nothing. Chapter 3, nothing until you game over against the Roaring Knight. Then Gaster shows up again and is like rooting for you, like, come on, you can do it. And then at the end of chapter 4, when he says that the halfway mark has been attained.
I'm waiting. My Deltarune. What is the Deltarune?
My Deltarune. Yeah. And then of course, he shows up every time on Twitter whenever there's a new chapter.
Fair. About that. I haven't followed anything. I haven't even seen any theories, but like, what was the whole ARG thing about? Is that still going on? Or like, was that just to point towards like, yo, the weird route is gonna be weird this time?
It was hinting towards the weird route, yes. But
okay.
One thing that's a little interesting is that basically, so the people
I should watch some videos about.
Yeah, like basically, I mean, you probably saw the picture of like the email that you got if you mentioned like where it takes place and you mentioned the lake. It was like ding, ding, ding.
Huh?
Oh, you didn't see it?
Oh, maybe. Hold up, let me check my email.
Well, you wouldn't have gotten an email because you.
Oh.
I mean, did you fill in the lake?
No.
Well, then you didn't get an email.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. So where do you fill in the lake?
Oh, okay. So
I know nothing.
Okay,
Explain.
with the Spamton sweepstakes. At some
Okay,
point,
that's a while ago.
Yeah, because this has been going on for a very long time. There was a thing where through Spam sweepstakes bullshit, you could find a page where it was just 2 text fields. No explanations at all. Just 2 text fields. And then a button. And basically people figured out, oh wait, the first text field, you could put an email address. And then the bottom text field, you could fill in something else. And the title header of the page is, when was the last time she smiled? People just fill in their email address, fill in some number or whatever, and then you just get a response, thank you. Then a bit later, the website opened up again, people could do the same thing again. And then people got some responses back, depending on what they answered. You know, they got a little answer text. And because of that, people could figure out, like, that when is the last time she smiled, timing-wise lined up with the festival. So something's going to happen at some point during the festival.
Okay. The last time she smiled, and the answer was the festival.
No, the last time she smiled was we didn't get a correct answer, but just a lot of hints. Like, if it's like, for example, it's like when you answered something, you mean like, oh, you mean when she was a child, or something when like, I mean, I don't remember exactly, you know, but basically there were like little hints that maybe people could figure out, like, okay, they're talking about something happening within this time period, which would line up with the festival, or at least the day that Chapter 5 happens.
Okay.
Then, when Chapter 5 release date was announced, the website opened up again, but this time suddenly it changed. It said, where will it take place? Then, again, filling in a lot of really fun answers that people got, like very lengthy ones. Some were very funny, like if someone wrote in, like, for example, shelter, but misspelled it, like with SJ for some reason. And then the response email he got back was just like, shelter? Question mark? Like, there was some fun stuff in there too.
Okay.
But basically, then it turned out that the people who wrote in the lake or the beach, for example, got an answer saying, ding, 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 ding. Then a screenshot from Chapter 5 of Kris at the lake during sunset.
Only Kris.
And basically saying something along the lines of like you did it. You only have, like, you just have to see her once and then never again, or something like something cryptic like that.
Ooh.
And then now it turned out that basically, like, oh yeah, it was pointing towards the weird route. But the interesting thing is that there were a few people that didn't get a response email back, even though they mentioned something about the lake. And that was very interesting. Specifically, people that said at the bottom of the lake. They didn't get that response email back. After Chapter 5 came out, they got an email back saying, well, what did you think?
Ugh.
I know, right? Yeah, Chapter 5, weird routes. The bottom of the lake is very relevant. Want to talk about it?
So, I'm a little bummed that I don't have a weird route save. Also, the ice cream truck is outside. Anyway, because during the stream, people were asking, do you have a weird route save? And I was like, yeah, of course I don't. As if that is, like, of course. Obviously I don't. I'm bummed that I didn't, because it's like, you can see that in 15 minutes. And it's, for a stream of Deltarune, it's probably like the one thing, right, that people want to see you see.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the whole thing with the weird route is, and that's also something that I'm like, again, a lot of people that were upset or disappointed at Chapter 5, it was purely just because they were only in it for the weird route, and then it's like, what? It's over in 15 minutes?
No, to me that is so interesting.
Exactly. The fact that you just start Chapter 5, already fucking horrifying beginning where Kris is just lying in bed.
And I watched it after the fact and I was like, holy fuck, this entire thing just makes me so uncomfortable.
Like, you forcefully move the soul to pull Kris out of bed, and you see him clawing on his bed sheets to stay in bed, and then you just forcefully pull him out of bed.
Yeah, because they're like, we are not doing this. No, weird route. This is not good. No, stop, please, no. Like, we know Kris hates the soul, but then when we take an active, just a complete active antagonistic stance towards Kris, it is like, I hate the soul.
Yeah, like in chapter 4 when Kris is just beating the fuck out of the soul, I'm like, yeah, deserved.
Yeah. And then here, okay, so you drag Kris out of the bed. Like, it's so like weird because even Toriel's like, well, nobody can force you out of bed. Mm-hmm. It's like, ew.
And then you start walking around very slowly, very jittery as well.
Yep.
And whenever you try to check something or talk to anyone, nothing. Just nope.
Nothing.
Nope. Just
Kris,
keep going.
I'm not engaging. Stop.
Mm-hmm. And then
it's clear, like the normal route compared to this, Kris is not nice to the soul.
He's yeah.
It's like, is this really what you're gonna make your first priority?
Yeah. Even though, like, we really want to read these letters, even though you're super weak and you've already read these letters and you know what's in here.
Yes, I want to read the letters.
Yes.
But then when you do the weird route and you're actively horrible to Kris, they're like, no engagement. I'm not telling you what I see. I don't want to. I feel terrible. Why are you making me do this?
I feel like it's not that. I feel like it's just Kris is gone.
I don't know about that.
You're just completely dissociated. You have taken control. Is how I see it.
No, because they fight against you.
True.
Right?
True. And then, like, because it's true, like when you're, because again, you walk around, but it's like much slower than usual and kind of jittery. So it definitely still feels like he's fighting against you.
Yeah, you jitter.
I mean, like, but then you go outside and then Susie's there, and again, obviously, like, Susie's like very awkward, like,
so yeah,
like something's wrong here.
Yeah.
But she's like, hey, listen, me and Noelle, we already went to the
festival. We had fun.
But I still want to see the festival with you. And again, it's just, I hate that this is stuck in the weird route because it's so many like cute scenes of them just bonding, and like you see like how much Susie cares, and again, Kris just doesn't care. And then like, because the thing is, like, you can do all that stuff, but Susie's like, hey, because Noelle asked me to come get you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Noelle, and again, it's like Susie's just like so awkward, and just then she leaves, but she's very clearly like kind of worried or like on edge, like something's up here. And then Noelle is there, and then just everything that happens, the whole conversation,
everything goes off the deep end, like, no pun intended.
Noelle goes absolutely like goes off about like how she basically, and something that's also something that gave me so much dread is that she's going off about everything. And the thing that fucked me up also is that it's not like she's going off because of what happened in chapter 4, which was horrifying, by the way.
Yeah.
She's saying like, listen, my entire life I haven't felt okay. My entire life I felt out of place. I feel like I'm not supposed to be here, like, so I'm just going through the motions, basically disassociating her entire life until you showed up. And
until you figured out how to not be Kris.
Yeah. And as fucked up as everything that happened was, and how terrified she was, it was like something snapped in her, an awakening where she's like, wait, we can change things.
Yeah.
And Noelle, like the revelations here really imply to me as like they have repercussions to Noelle in the normal route as well, because we now know Noelle really is like has all of these issues going on and like is a very troubled person. And the weird route just like,
we can break reality if we don't follow the rules. Let's do something crazy.
Yeah, like it takes away Noelle's mask, and now she's fully being like, let's change the rules, let's do something crazy. And then she just takes your hand and is like, whatever you do, I follow you.
Yep.
Please say the words I've been longing to hear. And you say, proceed.
Even it's weird though, because even if you say like stop, she's like, no, come on. And she still walks forward or backwards or whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Like you still walk into the lake. And
you just continue walking the lake. You keep going, keep proceeding. You can see in the character portrait, she's sinking deeper in the water.
Yeah, to me, I was like, oh, it's shallow. It's fine.
No, it's not. Like the fact that in her character portrait, you can see the water rising is so fucked up. Like,
yeah.
And she keeps saying like, louder, say it, like screaming at you. And when you're underwater and you're choking,
yeah,
she's like, but you can still hear me because we can hear her thoughts.
Yes.
So then she just keep going. And I want to say like the blur effect and everything, the sound design.
It's incredible.
I want to know like how long did Toby spend just fine-tuning the distortion of the blur effect, the distortion on the sound, on the diddle-doo. Like, it is so horrifying. And like in the end, like the screen just completely goes white. You can't see anything, but you can still move the cursor and proceed.
Yeah.
And it's so...
these two kids are drowning.
You are
and
actively
you as the player,
them.
you keep pushing them, which feels a lot like, or plays into the message of Undertale, where it's like, to what end does the player keep pushing, right?
Yeah.
And that plays into the no mercy routes. Like,
but
what's
even
the point?
Yeah, but that's the thing. The no mercy route is still just, you're just playing the RPG as you're supposed to play RPGs, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
But in the weird routes, you're not playing an RPG anymore. You're actively
trying to break
hurting
the game
and killing people, not within the framework of, but you're just killing monsters to play an RPG. You need experience points, right? No, there is literally no excuse here.
Yeah. It's the layer of gameplay where it's meant to be like, this is real life. These are two characters that live in hometown, and you're pushing them, and Noelle, and they keep going, and they're drowning, and then it just says, insert chapter 7 B-side.
So yeah, just skipping chapter 6. You want to play chapter 6
that's
with your weird out save? Nope.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like chapter 6 will just not, like, if you're in a weird route, chapter 6 it's not going to exist.
Nope. You better have a normal save file as well. Yeah, but and then like,
which is interesting because I think Gerson said after chapter 6 it just all ended.
Yeah, he never went beyond chapter 5. I think.
Yeah, chapter 7 never got written, right?
Oh wait, did he say something about chapter 6?
I don't know, actually.
I don't think he did.
It never got written. I don't know.
But yeah, like, and also I want to mention the fact that insert chapter 7 side B, the fact that suddenly this shows up on like a weird CRT screen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
device theory.
Give me some device theory vibes.
Yeah.
So like, again, it to me it really feels like, they're just clipping out of bounds, basically.
It like, Noelle has a knack for breaking games, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a character that has a knack for breaking games that's in a game, like, what does that do?
There's been a lot of really cool theories, because like I'm very thankful whenever my girlfriend finds like crazy takes that people have on Deltarune theories and stuff on like Twitter or whatever, she sends it to me. And there's been some really cool stuff. Like, for example, when you before you get to the lake and stuff, like, for example, you talk to Sans, and Sans gives you like some bread, and it's like, there's breadcrumbs everywhere. And then people find out like, oh wait, that's a reference to the like something like a breadcrumb skip or something in Mother.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yes.
Yeah, where you use breadcrumbs or something
the game with,
to glitch the game
and
get teleported to like with garbage aid. You teleport to like this grayscale, like fucked up like empty town or whatever.
Yes? Question mark.
And the thing is, people notice like, when you go deeper and deeper into the lake and stuff, the water actually starts becoming more and more gray. And there's everything that happened with like Man Country and that kind of shit, where it really seems like, like this is 100% they are gonna go out of bounds or something like that, just breaking the game open.
But then, like, what's the whole thing about the song on the other side of the lake?
Oh, maybe it is a dust thing. I don't know.
Also, I haven't seen the egg in this chapter.
Oh, Oof, okay, that's actually a beautiful scene that I want to talk about. This is actually the easiest egg to find, I feel like. But of course that is only with the knowledge of if you have the knowledge, it's very easy to find. Where if you follow the clues of what the mystery man or forgotten man or whatever told you in chapter 3. The thing is that in this chapter, it would be when he harvests the wheat.
Okay.
So then when you're in the cliffs area...
It's like when you cut the grass when you're running through it.
And you cut grass, and it's like you see all the wheat, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep an eye out.
Okay.
And then there's the parts where actually...
Is there like a hole, a hidden hole or something you can fall into?
No. It's the part where you enter a Torii gate and you do like a running sequence, and then the tropical Starwalker bird swoops in, and you have to do like a little dodging thing. Mm-hmm. And as you're running with your sword, you're cutting that grass. Mm-hmm. You're cutting like a path in the grass, basically. And this is the thing: I just did it by my own accord because I'm like, oh hey, you can cut the grass, cool. I just ran backwards and tried to cut all the grass.
Okay.
But then
and that's it. And then you cut all the grass.
No, and then it's like, okay, I cut all the grass. Then I run back to like continue. But then I notice, wait, there's one piece of grass that's still there. So I cut it again. Wait, it reappeared again. Cut it again. Cut it again. Cut it again. And then suddenly a balloon pops out.
Oh.
And then that balloon floats to the left. So you just have to follow it through that loading zone. And then you enter in the dog room. And Toby shows up. Mm-hmm. And there's like a little mini game where Toby is like, it's like you have to water some flowers.
You mean the annoying dog, right?
Well, yeah, the annoying dog shows up. And it's like you need to water some flowers or something, but Toby chases you to grab the flower can or something. So you need to do that very quickly. And then you can open the way and continue. And then you get to the tree. Uh-huh. And I also want to say, like, you need to watch this because when...
I can go do it.
Because things, when we got there, we just stopped playing because the music that plays in this room is a absolutely beautiful emotional piano piece that apparently we didn't know this at the time. Apparently it's like from the Deltarune piano collection album or something. It's like a piano rendition of Scarlet Forest. Mm-hmm. Or like, just like a segment of that song. And it's just a beautiful song. Like it was like strangely emotional. But then you go back and it's like, oh, well, there is a man here. And then it gives you the egg. But then you can continue talking to him. And then you ask like, oh, give me more. Give me more eggs. And then I'm gonna try and paraphrase this. Basically, the man opens his palm. Like the man looks a bit worried. He opens his palm, shows his empty palm, and then puts a finger towards his mouth and smiles. And then it's like he puts his hand on your shoulder and gives you like a sad smile. You get the feeling he's telling you have everything you need. The man turns around and walks away, and you get a feeling of melancholy. You get the feeling that you don't have to look for the man anymore, even though you never did so in the first place. And then when you check the tree again, it says, well, there is not a man here, but the weight on your shoulder still remains. And I don't know, so for some reason, it was like a strangely emotional scene, I thought. So definitely check it out.
So at the end of the day, it is just an Easter egg.
Well, no, the thing is we have, so basically you have, all 5 shadow crystals. There are 5 eggs.
Yeah. And
the only thing is that the only other hint is if you have the egg, if you're in the little like Phoenix Wright minigame when you're fighting yellow and blue.
Yeah.
In the evidence list, the egg shows up.
Uh-huh.
And basically, I don't know. Basically, you scroll to the egg, and then it just says something like, when, like something along the lines of, when you'll need to use this.
Uh-huh.
So that's like another little fun thing. But like, I don't think it's just like an Easter egg. I do feel like it's dangerous to go like, no, this has so much plot relevance. I'm not going to say that, but I do think it's going to be something more than just like, oh, you got all the eggs. That's fun. Good job. Clap, clap, clap. Applause. You did it.
As a joke from Toby. It's like...
No, I think there's going to be something more to it. Like, basically, the thing is, I think we have all the eggs now. We're not going to get any more eggs, but in the next chapter or chapter 7 or whatever, there's going to be a moment where you're going to have to do a similar thing, but then instead of finding the Eggman and getting an egg, you'll find a place where you need to use those eggs or those eggs become relevant.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think it might not be the case. I think it might be a joke. A joke on all of us.
I don't know. Could be. Who knows? Tricky Tony could do what he wants.
Tricky Tony?
Yeah, the joke.
Is that about it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can go into my theory.
Oh, well, okay, wait, I'll quickfire just some stuff, other stuff that I liked. I thought the enemies were really fun enemy designs. I love the cocos that go,
Yeah, I was like, is Toby okay?
I thought that was super cute.
Was he okay when he made this enemy?
I love the scarecrows that are just T-posing and dabbing.
Yes.
I think Shinobeetle is my favorite design for an enemy. I just think they're really cool. And also one of my favorite parts is when they show up in the sand garden.
Yeah.
And they appear above the sand pin. There's like doom. They're just stuck.
Yeah.
I really love just the general like theme of the flowers, like the like that's just an earworm that's been stuck in my head the whole time. I don't think there were any like standout funny moments to me that I didn't already mention.
I feel like there were a lot of really solid jokes this chapter.
I mean, I think a lot of really fun facial expressions from like, again, like anytime Yellow tries to kill himself, Ralsei and Susie just look at each other like, ugh!
Mm-hmm.
And they keep getting more and more frightened. Actually, it's just like a random thing. Why is blue the only flower that gets like a character portrait at some point? Isn't that like, kind of random? I thought that was weird.
Wait, and the butterfly does, Mr. Butterfly?
Oh yeah, Mr. Butterfly has. I feel like yeah, maybe they did that just because they wanted to give Mr. Butterfly a
facial expression,
like a thing. But blue, he also has like, you know, his face show up in the character portraits.
Yeah.
And it's like, why only him?
Yeah, I suppose that is a little weird, huh? Maybe just for Mr. Butterfly.
Yeah, because again, like, none of the other ones, they just have like the little symbol.
Yeah, green doesn't get a character portrait.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is that, huh?
Yeah, they have a little symbol. And it's weird because like blue has the character portrait, but then later in the chapter, he also just has the little symbol of the like tutu or maybe the ballerina shoes, I don't know. I think we can finish this off because we've been recording for a while. We can finish this off by what is your theory? I'm excited to find out.
Well, I just want to ask you, who is the knight?
Well,
wait, no, stop.
What?
Sorry. The most devastating part in this chapter, I can't believe we haven't mentioned it. The fact that something happened to my boy Rudy.
Oh, Rudy was the worst. Who the fuck told Rudy to get on a ladder? That's not safe.
Rudy himself? Fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I just saw Rudy and I was like, Rudy, get the fuck down from there. What are you doing?
Yes. It's like, oh, that felt so bad.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Also something we need to talk about. Can we talk about the fact that Onion-san is fucking dead?
Huh? Sorry, I must not have seen that. What happened?
Well, remember in the last chapter that we want to go meet up with Onion-san, and then the creepy bird guy is there who's like, no, don't, no, don't.
Yes.
And you're like, what the fuck? Well, guess what? In chapter 5, he shows up again with a takoyaki stand with octopus in it.
Oh.
That tastes like onion.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't get that.
Onion-san is fucking dead.
Oh.
Yeah. That, I think, his name is even, I think, like, normal NPC, I think is his actual name. Like, normal NPC, Gaster's greatest warrior.
Yeah, he's weird.
Trying to stop us from figuring shit out. But I do like, there's a lot of funny memes now, and fan art of that bird is just like a fucked up abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool art. Like, in general, just so much cool fan art of, like, the reroute and stuff as well. Cool art in general. But I also like there's memes of that bird being fucking creepy as hell, and that even Gaster is like, what the fuck did you do? I didn't tell you to do that. I think it's just funny. Okay, one last thing. Burgerpants crashed the fuck out.
Oh yeah, right.
Poor Burgerpants.
Your cookies were nice. They really looked like me.
I was very shocked and kind of sad that it was actually like a very legitimate, like, just played very seriously crash out of him being like, why the fuck would you do that to me? It was like actually like very sad.
Yeah.
And especially then when like when the nice cream guy is there and you talk to him, he's like, what, who? Caddy? I don't have any friends named Caddy.
Yeah.
Like, oof. Oh, and also speaking of Caddy, well, the other Caddy.
Yeah.
I feel like Susie and Noelle were very mean to her. I think it's very sad. I hope that Caddy is okay.
I mean, she was also mean to them.
Yeah, but like at least Noelle is very good friends with Caddy. She at least should have been like more worried, but she was too obsessed with like, Susie, you held my hand, uwu.
I guess, but like, still.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was like, oh, that's sad. I hope Caddy's okay. Now we can actually get into the theory. So
Lenny,
who is the
question?
knight?
Who is the knight?
Well, some people. One thing that I think is funny that some people are suddenly like, wait, Kris Knight stocks are suddenly way up. Noelle, and Noelle Knight as well, maybe. Like, basically, there has been a theory going around.
God damn it!
Oh, was that your... Okay, no, tell me.
I've written down, could Noelle be the knight?
Well, could be, because the thing that people are thinking is that whatever Kris and Noelle are up to right now, in this fucking weird route shit, might end up making the night happen, or something along those lines.
Yeah, because Noelle glitches games. She does that, the night feels like a glitch.
Yeah.
Whenever you attack the night, like bzz, bzz, all that.
Yeah. Also antlers.
The whole one ending thing. I think that the weird route is not going to be an ending, and it's going to be a loop.
Exactly.
That is the origin of Noelle being the knight. That's how it's going to be explained. And that's how the knight comes to be. And the knight wants to make sure that it keeps existing and the loop keeps going. And then the only ending of the game is going to be not the weird route, what people are thinking. Well, that's our alternate ending or actual ending. No, that is the non-ending. The ending is when you end the loop and end the game.
That is
definitely... Also, I thought it was funny that Noelle specifically says, tell me to grow wings. And the knight turns into like a bird.
Yeah, I guess true. I mean, it's not like the knight is like flapping wings. It's like just a weird, like, I don't know.
I suppose.
An abstract cloak, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely a theory that I saw pop up. Like, but
yeah,
people are mostly saying
you're saying Kris could be the knight. I'm not sure about that.
The theory that has been going around is that Susie and Kris are the knights.
Susie and Kris?
No, Noelle and Kris. That Noelle and Kris are the knight. Because, like you said, there's a lot of similarities with Noelle.
Wait, Noelle and Kris?
Yeah, that Noelle has the antlers, the glitchiness. People have been saying like, that the sound effect the sound effect when the knight gets damaged sounds very similar to Noelle screaming. Like, but then also, basically every pose that the knight does
is very Kris-like. That is true.
Very Kris-like, and people are just assuming like, yeah, maybe whatever happens, whatever Noelle and Kris are doing right now
does make sense.
Somehow they fuse, not maybe fuse, I don't know, but basically something about them becoming the knight. And like you said, it being like a time loop type situation, which would go into like because it is weird.
That's actually more clever that they combine.
Yeah, because there is a lot of weird stuff. Also with like the fact that there's, remember when like chapter 2, for example, came out and like people were like, oh wait, Noelle has like dialogue for all these food items that she's not normally able to eat and stuff for them, but she does have like little comments about it. Oh, that's weird. And then like, but the weird thing is that like, but like in later chapters, whenever there's like new items and stuff, they kept giving Noelle more dialogue for all these items. But it's like, why would you do that if she can't get to any of those items? Even like unused items that are in the files and stuff, but don't have use in the game, they don't appear in the game or anything, they keep getting updated with every chapter that comes out. There was something about like, even like, this unused like food item or whatever that's not in the game was updated in chapter 5 to give Mew Mew like 10 dokis if you give her an item using that act thing. And it's like, why are you updating all these things for things that normally aren't allowed to that cannot happen? Well, maybe in the real route, when you're with Noelle, those things can happen, which plays into the time loop thing, where maybe there's a point where Noelle will be doing things in those. And that's also something that makes me think like there's something about saying insert chapter 7 side B, which makes me feel like if there's a side B, I don't know,
a side B of the game.
Yeah, something about that feels more substantial than just like, oh, sometimes there's like a little difference, which is something that I kind of don't want to think it's going to be that, because that would be like, I can't imagine that they would put so much work into like, oh no, yeah, you can just replay everything. There's like a whole B-side where you can just replay things, but now with Noelle as well, like, I don't, like, that would be way too much. I feel like that would be way too crazy, but what?
The Shard! When you look into the Shard, that's the B-side.
Oh. Oh.
You see Susie sad. You see broken TV, I think.
That was like a broken TV. You see Undyne Frozen.
That one is unused, I think.
Yeah, that's unused. But
either way, oh my god! The crystal could be the B-side! Whoa. Wow! Oh my god! I can't believe me mentioning Noelle could be the knight made you go on this tangent and suddenly opened up my third eye on all of this. Like, that is... Okay, I think it's a little weird, the idea that Noelle and Kris could, like, into a combined being, and they're both the knight? That just feels a little weird to me.
It also seems like a little crazy. Like it could be, I guess, but it feels very like... It could be, because wouldn't it be cool? Instead of, it could be, because this makes sense. But there's still things that, like, it does point in that direction, would be cool.
Also, do you think that the way Noelle acts in the Weird Route in Chapter 5, these are things that she actively struggles with, even during the normal route?
Yes, absolutely. That is why when she's talking to Kris, and you have the little cutscene that plays, with the really cool music, and has like the 3 views or whatever, like there she's talking about, like, since before the game, she's always felt out of place. She always felt like she didn't belong here. That she just wanted to leave and stuff. So, like, that's always been a thing.
Yeah, and when she's with Susie, she's like, maybe staying here,
yeah, and that's the
isn't
thing.
So bad.
With Susie now, it's like, oh, but maybe that doesn't have to be the case. But it's always been there. But now with Kris, it's like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, it implies that she's been basically disassociating her whole life and masking. And just in the Weird Route with Kris now, she just pulled the mask off because of the horrible abuse that Kris did in the last chapter, which was like, oh god, that scene was fucked up. But and like this, so it's just a very toxic. I feel like the two of them are just very toxic towards each other in that sense. But yeah, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, secretly Noelle is like a psycho. Like, it's not. No. It's not like that. But I definitely think the stuff she is talking about, she does struggle with that. But like we said, like when she's with Susie, it's like, oh, maybe I can belong here if I have someone like Susie with me.
Yeah, and she's like the girl with hope crossed on her heart, right? According to the mural.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Oh, also a little thing that I want to mention that it's not anything crazy, but I just thought it was really cool, is in that scene, the Weird Route, where Noelle is like yelling at you and talking. If you look at her character sprites, I mean like the portraits, I was like, wow, she really looks like her mother.
Oh, I should go back and look at that.
Like the way she, like the look, like because her eyes become like a lot smaller and like not evil looking, but like very intense and stuff. Like, and I'm like, damn, she really looks like Carol there. I just think that's just like a cool little, I don't know, design choice.
If this ends up being the case and Noelle is the knight, maybe along with Kris, maybe December isn't even a character in the game. Well, maybe she is going to be a backstory.
Well, that's the thing that I keep thinking about. Like, for example, when a lot of people were thinking about, oh, what's going to happen in Chapter 5? A lot of people are like, oh, I can't wait to finally get a confirmation of what Dessa's character design is like,
Sure.
And even back then, like, I was thinking, like, I'm not sure if we're ever going to see Des. Like, at all. I'm not sure. She is an important character in the sense that whatever happened to Des, all those events are the events that kicked the plot into motion. But I don't think that necessarily means that she's gonna become like an actual character, I do feel like, 'cause it depends. Like, I'm not sure how Toby will like handle, like, are we gonna get like an actual flashback to the day that it happened, where we see everyone and we see what happens? I don't know. I feel like Toby is a guy who likes having characters tell you about what happened and their perspective, but not showing you exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and that's also why I feel like all of the theorizing about like Ness, about the identity of the knight, and this and that, and Gaster and friend. I think it's all super cool and fun to think about these things, and it's fun to listen to all different theories, all the theory videos. I love putting those on in the background while I work and stuff. But I feel like people shouldn't put too much stock in all of those things as getting answers to all of these things. I feel like there's a similar thing that happened with, and I'm sorry, this is kind of like a tangent, but with the last episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, there were a lot of people also being disappointed that, but we didn't get all the answers to all this lore that we've been theorizing about. And my response to that is, yeah, that's true, but that was never the point. The story of the characters was the point.
I have no stock in this.
Yeah, exactly.
I have not watched The Amazing Digital Circus.
Yeah. And basically, I feel like with Deltarune, maybe some people will fall for the same traps, where they're going all in, all the deep lore, when I'm like, yeah, but I think the most important thing, and also I do think the thing that Toby cares about the most will be the characters. And their stories will all be wrapped up in stuff, but like deepest lore stuff, it could also just be like background stuff. We don't know that. It definitely can be plot stuff, but we shouldn't immediately assume that that's guaranteed.
Oh, by the way, the fact that like everybody or like I don't know who has a question, like I think it's Susie, they see Asgore's notes, and it's like, how long has this been going on?
Yeah,
that leads into the time loop thing.
Could also
it's been going on for literally
forever. I believe something like that could happen, where it's like, yeah, like you know, like what if it was Kris and Noelle that opened the first Dark Fountain all the way back then? Like could be something like that. Would be crazy.
Yeah, and that and like that is, it's still so weird because like, where does the player come from? Who are we?
Yeah, that's like, it's stuff like that that makes me think like,
what is the Goner Maker?
That's like, I feel like the Gaster thing, there's gonna be something with that, but I don't know how overt it'll be. But there's gonna be something with that.
And like the whole thing about waves and water and the deep, has it all been leading to this specific weird route, or will there be more relevance to the deep, depth, dark ocean waves?
Well, considering everything that's already happened, all I can say is Toby had some fucked up fever dream to make him decide to make this game.
You know what's weird to me? I mean, the only thing I can say, I hope this doesn't come off as insensitive, but in chapter 4, the scene with Noelle was changed, right? From like a flower wilting to just a crack.
Yeah.
Because people said it like had themes of rape, right?
Yeah. Which I think it was obvious what...
Valid? But
I mean, I think it was obvious what Toby was implying, which is just a like loss of innocence.
Yes.
It doesn't have to mean literally that thing, but...
Also, the only reason I'm not saying the word is because YouTube is going to be weird about that.
Yeah, true. I mean, like, the thing is, like, I think it's stupid to think, like, that's literally what it was, because Toby... I mean, it's clear that Weird Route is going to get intense. I don't think Toby would actually put that in his game.
No. Definitely not. Yeah, but I like the thing. I do understand that it made people uncomfortable. Maybe even people who experience stuff like that. Where it's like, that rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, the discussion around it was definitely big enough that I can that I can definitely imagine Toby being like, wait, this is getting really out of hand.
Let's change.
I just need to,
But to me personally, and I guess that is the whole part of the whole thing, is like, if you have personal experience with stuff like that, it hits closer to home.
Well, of course.
But to me personally, the whole walk into the lake is way more intense and has way more themes of committing suicide, which is so. Is it more uncomfortable? It's so weird to me. Like, I
feel like that's the thing. Like they're
both similar, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's also a like, that's the thing. It just. The Weird Routes.
It's like children walking into the lake. it is.
And you're not watching it. You are making them do it.
Yes.
That's the fucked up part. Like,
and Noelle wants to do it. Hey, let's do something crazy. Let's fucking kill ourselves. It's like, what?
It is like it is like they make a suicide pact.
Yeah, it's so similar to people saying the same thing about Chapter 4, but I guess I don't know. To me, that read way more as like, oh, they're both like gonna end their lives.
Yeah, exactly. But I
read more as that than the flower wilting.
Yeah,
I've read to not good.
Yeah,
non-consensual assault.
Yeah.
Yes,
I feel like
assault tends to be.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I feel like Toby was just like, whoa, okay, wait. This is not what I wanted to apply with this flower at all. I'll just change it so that it's not, so that people won't take of it that way. But whereas with this reading for what happens in Chapter 5, Toby's like, yes, that is what I'm implying.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that may be the case, yeah. Maybe people are uncomfortable, and Toby's like, yes.
You should be.
Uh-huh.
But maybe with the Chapter 4 thing, it's just like, well, you should be uncomfortable, but I wasn't going to go like that far.
Yeah, so. I didn't mean that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one thing I also thought was pretty fun, but it might just be it's just a silly little Easter egg.
Yes.
Might just be a little silly Easter egg, or it could be something after after you exit the Dark World again in Chapter 5, which, oh, by the way, I just want to mention the ending with the fucking brawl of the century between the Knights and Flowery was fucking great.
Yeah, it was like, again, it was like evidence.
It was like a Newgrounds, like Mario versus Sonic sprite battle. Yes. It was great.
It like that's even more the Knight just being able to control the game.
Yeah.
As like, 99, and then the Knight is like, nope. 0.
I literally cut away the 9s in half so that they turn into 0s.
Yeah,
and then it's like, what?
That again shows like the glitching, the controlling.
You can go against my fake stats?
Yeah. Fuck, I wanted to say something, but now
But then, I was gonna say like, so you are back in Dark World. We get the second code for the bunker or the shelter, and the code is 0915 1990X.
Yeah.
So September 15th, which is the release date of Undertale.
Yeah, that's why I thought. Yeah.
It's like, oh, will that mean something? Oh my god! Or it's just like a fun little Easter egg.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
This entire chapter was like Undertale.
Yeah. Huh? I know. In universe, I think it's nicely like no. That's the date that Asgore and Toriel got married. That's my kind of interpretation of what that date would be.
Mm. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I remember.
And Kris has the seeds, the poisonous seeds, by the way. So. Hopefully that won't become relevant next time. Ugh.
No, the seeds they're covered in labels, right? Labels. And wasn't that a huge part of Undertale as well?
Well, yeah. Kara ingested the seeds, got poisoned, and fucking died.
Yeah.
So Kris has those seeds. Be careful with those. I sure hope things don't go downhill, and then Kris will have to makes a very bad decision.
Wait a minute. And then we just control that body?
No, I don't even think about that. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. How would that even...
Wait!
Oh, boy. I unlocked your fourth eye.
Don't forget I'm with you in the dark. Fucking... it's Noelle singing it!
Mm-hmm. She has a nice singing voice.
Bro. I need to re-listen
also,
to When the Light is Running.
Yeah. Also, because I'm with you in the dark with your heart as the mark that will shine us the way through the waves.
So anyway, so what happened to this, right? That is what happened in the past. Like something happened to this. Something happened, and then Asgore tried to save everybody, but he failed, right?
Yeah, something happened.
What happened to Des is related to the Dark World, because
that's
Asgore, is like, I know what they are, the Dark World, so something happened there, and he knows, and everybody doesn't believe him, because what the fuck are you talking about, you weirdo?
Yeah.
You crazy loon? But what did happen to December?
Well, that's the thing.
Did she fall out of the video game?
Well, that's the ongoing theory, because she seems to be present in the code.
Yeah. Yeah, that, like, the more I think about it, the more it may be the case that that December is not in, like, she's not going to be in the game. We're going to get the explanation, but she will never show up. It's totally possible.
Like, the thing is, like, we got a Des silhouette.
Yeah, true.
In chapter 3.
Yeah.
Don't know how much more we're going to get than that.
I'm curious if we're even going to see Asriel.
That, I feel like Asriel we will see, and that's going to be maybe the stinger of chapter 6.
Because, like, Asriel was in love with December.
Yes.
So that, like, maybe we'll get it from him?
If we're going to learn more about Des, might be from him, yeah. Or maybe not, because he's just like, he doesn't want to think about losing Des. You know, who knows?
Yo, shit's crazy.
Yeah.
I
feel like there was more I wanted to mention, but I can't remember, and we've been going for so long.
What I've gotten from this is definitely, I'm pretty currently, come back when chapter 6 releases, but currently I think Ralsei is definitely, or is very likely to be, like, the roots. Everybody keeps, like, that keeps popping up.
I remember. I saw something that I feel like, I know, maybe you've already seen this or heard this, guy. I don't know for how long.
If it's been a thing before chapter 5, I may have.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I just saw it after I finished chapter 5, and I was like, wait, this is 100% what it's going to be. This is 100% accurate. I believe this 100%. Which is basically, so there's a lot of cryptic, seemingly important stuff that we've heard about, like, roots. Lost children, like Lost, where the forest would grow, the children followed the pointed tail. Stuff like that. And basically, someone who explained that you have roots, as in, I want to...
You have the root of a folder. Is that what you're going to go on about? Like the root of files?
Yeah, it's basically like you have roots of a file.
The root file is like, yeah.
But then you have roots of a file. And when you go into a file and you see, like, how the files all, like, split up into different files and stuff, that's called that's like, you know, the tree of all the things.
Oh yeah, that's you have
a lot of trees. Yeah. A lot of trees are a forest.
Yes.
So Lost, where
like
the forest,
2 words,
like, so Lost, where the forests would grow, the children followed the pointed tail. The pointed tail
is the mouse cursor.
Basically, taking the children follow the pointed tail. Basically, taking the characters with your mouse, clicking and dragging to a folder. It's all like file stuff.
Yo, yeah, that's interesting. No, I haven't heard this. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was an image that I saw that was like, this is exactly it. This is so genius. I'm gonna find it and send it to you so you can add it in the video. And at the very least, just look at it, because I saw that and I was like, my mind was blown. Like, how is this the first time I've heard about this? Because this is so obviously exactly what it is.
At the root of the tree, and the children followed.
The children got lost in the forests.
Yeah,
forest being a lot of roots just within the files. Like, there's
I suppose that is also a Toby thing, where, like, words can have different meanings, and, like, you don't call your computer a forest, but it could be because, you know, there's a lot of trees in there. Yeah, that's interesting, bro. I really hope we get a chapter every year now.
Well, I mean, that was also another thing where it's like, at first I was worried that we got to be continued in chapter 6, no year. And I was like, oh no. But apparently on the Steam page, it is specified that they are aiming for a 2027 release for chapter 6.
Nice.
Because they say aiming, I feel like they're not saying it definitively in the game itself, because if it's going to happen next year, it's going to be at the end of next year. Maybe just barely it's going to be pushed to early 28th. But
it is crazy, though, the difference of waiting from chapter 2 to 3 and 4, and then 3 and 4 to 5, is like, to me, it felt like, oh, that was a short wait. Chapter 5 is here already.
It was, for me as well. I was like, holy shit, already?
And then the wait from 2 to 3 and 4 was just like literal years.
But that's why, like, with chapter 6, it's gonna happen, like, probably next year, maybe. And I just wonder what it's gonna be like, because the only thing we know about Chapter 6 is that Toby has mentioned that the development for Chapter 6 is actually much easier than the other chapters, and it's very smoothly. So he says that there's not a 0% chance that by the end of this year, people will already have moved on to Chapter 7, or at least some people will have already moved on to developing for Chapter 7, which implies that. I feel like that implies like if Chapter 6 is a lot easier to develop, means a lot less gameplay gimmicks that need to be programmed and stuff. I feel like that chapter will be mostly focused on like, I feel like that's going to be just a dialogue heavy chapter. That one's going to have a lot of lore drops and stuff because, you know, writing is a lot faster than programming entire new gameplay systems.
Yes. Making a platformer.
Yeah. And then I think, yeah. But I feel like with Chapter 6, it's like, I don't know. At this point, part of me feels like I wouldn't mind if he just doesn't release Chapter 6 until Chapter 7 is also out.
It's not gonna happen.
I know it's not, but I don't know.
That's not gonna happen.
I feel like, I don't know. Actually, my theory of what might happen is I definitely think the wait between Chapter 6 and 7 is gonna be the worst because we're gonna be like on the cusp of all the answers. Like, because Chapter 6 is probably going to have more lore drops, and it's going to be like, oh, we're almost there. But then we're not going to get there. So and if Chapter 6 is a lot easier to develop for, and it's going faster, I feel like we might end up in a situation where Chapter 6 is finished, but then they keep it just for a little bit longer, and then they release it when Chapter 7 is already further in development, so that then when they say Chapter 6 comes out, you play it, and then at the end it says to be continued in Chapter 7, and then it's going to be like at the end of this year, for example, or maybe like within the next year, definitely 100%, even maybe within 6 months, who knows? But like maybe they're going to have them be a little closer together so that the wait wouldn't be that crazy. Because I can't imagine for Chapter 7 they're going to go all out, and that chapter is going to take longer to develop because I think he's going to try and end the game with a bang.
Well, at this point, I'm wondering what I think, especially now with our whole canon, like head canon of time loop. I think we probably mentioned this during our 3 and 4 discussion with the, like, in the code, there's like Chapter 10.
Oh, yeah, there's like dummy files for more chapters beyond 7, and even a Chapter 0.
Yeah.
I think I always thought like, oh my god, what if Toby's like super crazy and
no, but there's actually more chapters used as like a meta thing,
as
right?
B-side stuff, maybe.
Maybe stuff like that.
That could
but
be.
Those aren't going to be fully fledged chapters where like there's fucking 12 hours of gameplay, Toby.
Yeah, like I really feel like, because I feel like
it could be more like the Weird Round Chapter 5 where it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah, maybe sort of stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people don't like taking Toby's comments at face value because they always think, like, oh, he's trying to trick us. He's actually hinting towards something crazy.
Tricky.
That's our tricky Toby. Whoa, wow. So I feel like sometimes if he says like, yeah, there's 7 chapters, sometimes he can be like, okay, there's going to be 7 chapters. Not everything needs to be like a trick. But at the same time, maybe it could be, who knows. But I feel like saying secretly there's going to be like 5 extra chapters or whatever, that's insane.
No, 7 extra chapters because of the B-side.
Oh, yes.
What I'm wondering about, and this, I think this has to be a thing. You remember back a while ago when Toby was working along with, I think, Game Maker, RPG Maker, I don't know, where like if you load a game, it has the ability to load different instances from like.
Well, yeah, that's how Deltarune works.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be actually used, sort of like how One Shot did its ending.
Yeah, I feel like there have been a few games now that do really fun stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you've heard about Rhythm Doctor.
No.
That game does literally some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in a video game.
So just saying that the children,
which involves like playing in a window, playing the game windowed, but then that window actually moving with the game and stuff, like doing crazy shit like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Like stuff like that. I feel like Toby, especially with like if we're gonna believe like the roots and the folder structures, that kind of stuff, the trees.
Yeah, children following the pointed tail. Like, it could all just happen on your computer.
Like, Toby might go so far as to actually go into the weeds with file stuff like that. Although I feel like stuff like that might be specifically for like weird route stuff.
Maybe. But, like, maybe you show them with your mouse, like, go from this window to this window.
I think something like that would be really cool.
Yeah. Like, maybe if you lose control of Kris at some point, the only way to show the characters where to go is with your mouse. Like, go here, please.
Oh, dude. I'm just thinking about it. That'd be crazy.
It's like everybody where maybe fucking so Kris is gone.
Like I'm imagining the roaring has happened and the world is just fucked up and Susie is like buried under rubble or whatever and it's like fucked up and stuff, and then just you move your mouse to the window and Susie just goes like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then you need to lead that. Okay, that would be super cool actually.
Yeah, because you can't control the game if you don't have the soul, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe Kris and the soul are gone at some point, and the only way to guide the characters is with your mouse, and that is the children following the pointed tail.
And the silly mic minigames you can play with your mouse was just testing to see if that could work.
All right, I forgot about that. Well, Kris isn't afraid of the pointed tail. Kris knows what's up.
Actually, speaking of those minigames, have you listened to the full soundtrack?
No.
So you haven't heard about Ford Sanctuary.
Ford?
Yeah. Ford Sanctuary.
No.
Basically, it's just in the guitar minigame.
Yeah.
They added a new track you can play, which is Ford Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Which is basically Toby going like, oh yeah, people are going like, oh my god, Toby, what the fuck is time signatures with Third Sanctuary?
Yeah.
Because it's like very complicated. Basically, Toby just went, okay, oh yeah, what if I just make shit up? And then he made Ford Sanctuary, and you can play it in the guitar rhythm game, and it is hilarious. Because it's Sanctuary, but it's like literally just like fucking random bullshit, like like random pauses in the middle for no reason. It's hilarious.
Okay. I thought it was just Fourth Sanctuary. I didn't realize it was Ford Sanctuary.
Yeah, Ford.
By the way, I like playing like that there's now a MIDI keyboard in Castletown.
Yeah, just like a little thing like, you didn't need to do that, Toby, but hey, cool, thanks.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we should wrap this up.
Do you have anything else to say for yourself?
I don't think so. If people were like, what, they didn't talk about this thing, mention it in the comments. Maybe
and then we'll cry.
Maybe I'll jump in the comments and be like, oh yeah, I thought that was fucking stupid and you're dumb for liking it.
Yeah, and tell us why the theories we talked about Ralsei being a root, how that's wrong, how Noelle being the knight is wrong, how Susie is not the right girl, she's the wrong girl.
Yeah.
She's not the girl with the hope.
Stuff.
That's actually December. Also, why do you say that Papyrus is not Sansa's brother? What the fuck? How dare you?
But definitely,
Onion Sounds isn't dead.
Definitely go in the comments when you agree with me that Flower King is the best music in Deltarune, and that Flowery is the GOAT.
I had mixed feelings on Flowery, and then when he died, I was like, oh no.
Well, that's another thing that was
died.
Like, I was actually surprised that like we're only playing this chapter with these characters, we've only just met them. They're only in this chapter, but then by the end, when you had to say goodbye, and they're all like, thanks for watching my dream, and then just turn to a flower. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I was actually like, they actually did a real good job with that.
Yeah. All right. See you next time.
In like a year, maybe. Probably a little longer than that.
Maybe it's June every time. That would be crazy.
Basically, okay. In about a year's time, if there's a Nintendo Direct around that time, until then.
Yes. I do make other content. Usually.
Oh yeah,
a lot of it.
We do other stuff, but hey,
Deltarune. Other stuff. Stinky. How about Deltarune?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to our dream, everybody.
Thanks to listening to our dream
and our TED Talk. Bye.
Jarona.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
You're eating my flesh.
You're dead.
Orange.
Anyway.
All right. I need to get at least one Jarona in there.